Students, in today's lecture, we will begin with the new topic, unit number 2, that is leadership. So, in this topic, we are going to see what is the concept of leadership, what are the functions of leader, then what are the various styles of leadership, and which qualities or traits are required to be a successful leader. So, let us begin with unit second, that is leadership. Now, success of any organization depends upon effective leadership, and to provide this leadership is the responsibility of management. So, students, as you know, that whenever organization becomes successful, it may be any organizational. It may be a business organization, a social one, and educational one, anything. If you think that this particular organization is successful, then the credit goes to the leader of that organization, right? So leader is such an important part of any management, and he's the person who motivates his subordinates to work hard to achieve their goals, and he's the person who shows you the right direction, who guide you to achieve all your objectives, right? So he should be an ideal person. What sort of functions are performed by a leader, and what sort of traits a leader must have, and that we are going to see in this topic. Okay, so leadership is it's a art of influencing and inspiring its subordinate to do their duties, right? So inspiring, boosting, you can call them as, or you're encouraging your subordinate to do your duty. So it's a process of influencing behavior of others working in the organization, which will motivate to your workers to work willingly for achieving the predetermined goals. This is more important. That means you are inspiring your workers to work hard from the bottom of their heart willingly. You are not forcing someone to do the work, right? You are creating that urge among your workers to do your work in the best manner. You are trying to use the whole potential of your workers or employee. You are trying to get the best out of them, and this will happen when you encourage them, when you appreciate their good work, when you motivate them, when you trust them, right? So these are the things which will build confidence among your subordinates, and they will start doing their work, right? Second important point over here is that subordinates always look at the leader as their ideal person, right? So they are your followers. So you should be a person, leader has to be a person who is having a good impressive personality, who has good command on languages, who is having good ability of influencing others. Okay, so those traits one by one we are going to see, but in short, you have to in short, it can be said that the whole and soul success depends upon the kind of leadership which you have in your organization. And therefore in management also, the function leadership has got an immense importance, because the success or failure of any organization depends upon what kind of a leader you are having. Okay, so let us go through the definitions one by one. So in meaning, we saw the art of influencing and inspiring subordinates is called as leadership, and the first definition is given by Knudsen O'Donnell, where it says leadership is the ability of a manager to induce subordinates to work with confidence and zeal. So it's a ability of leadership, or ability of a leader to boost or induce or encourage its subordinates to work with confidence. You as a leader has to create confidence in the minds of subordinates that yes, you can do it, you have to do it, and you will do it. Okay, because I am there to guide you, direct you. This kind of attitude has to be developed, a positive one, where an urge will be developed among the workers to do their work sincerely and willingly. This is more important. So you're not forcing those workers to do, you're not compelling them to do it, but you are just motivating and trying to double their energy, right? And you are just trying to create a confidence among your workers that yes, you can do it, I'm there to support you all the time. This kind of trust you're creating in the minds of your workers. Okay. Then the second definition is given by Allen. A leader is one who guides and directs other people. He must give their efforts direction and purpose. Right. So a leader should be a good guide. He should solve the difficulties of his workers whenever they need them. He should be there to show them a bright path. He should direct them properly. He must whatever efforts your workers or subordinates are putting in whenever they are doing their assigned work, you are the person as a leader, you have to show them the right direction and see to it that all their efforts are been put in right direction and for the purpose for which they have been appointed, right? So your objectives, organizational objectives, should be achieved and their efforts should be fruitfully used. That's what is expected from a leader. Okay, so these were the two definitions. Anyone you can learn and write in exam. Then we are going to see what are the functions of leader. So the first one is formulation of objectives. As the name itself signifies, the leader is a person who is going to set the objectives and policies for your subordinates, because unless and until objectives are set, you can't proceed further, you can't do your work, right? So deciding the objectives and to lead the attention of efforts of his group in purposeful direction is the duty of the leader. Framing of policies make people work accordingly, right? So when you frame your objectives, when you decide your objectives, when you finalize your objectives, then only people are going to work. So it is very important function which is done by a leader to frame your objectives, right? So these objectives are in tune with your short term and long term goals, and here the leader has to see to it that your short term long term goals are achieved by achievement of these objectives, and accordingly you'll have to set them. Okay, then next one is initiating the action. Initiative is one of the important principles of management, and every leader has to take an initiative because your followers follow you. They look at you as an ideal leader, and therefore you have to do the action. You as a leader have to do the work very actively. You have to put in your best whenever you are doing the work, right? So whatever work leader has to do, he has to do it at very first. It's not that leader is sitting all idle and idly is sitting and your subordinates are only working. It's not like that. If you expect your workforce to work for 8 to 10 hours, it's the leader who is the person who will work for 10 to 12 hours, right? So you have to work more than your subordinates, because you have to set an example in front of your workers that yes, look at me, if I'm spending 12-14 hours for my organization, then of course you have to do your duty hours, 8 to 10 hours you have to work and try to give your best for the organization. Many a times leader has to sacrifice his personal life, family life, but this is also by doing this he is also setting an example in front of his workers that yes, I'm sacrificing some of my things for the benefit of the organization, for the organization as a whole. So you also should do like that, isn't it? So action initiation has to be taken by the leader first in any respect. In whatever activities you are promoting in the enterprise, you have to take a lead to start the activities, initiate new development programs in the interest of the organization. The next one is direction and motivation. As I said, leader is the only person who will direct you, who will show you the right path, who will stimulate his subordinates to work for the accomplishment of the enterprise goals and objectives. He properly directs his followers by issuing clear and complete orders. Here it is very important that leader himself should not be confused as to be what is to be done, right? He should be very clear about his objectives, and accordingly only he can show the right direction to his subordinates. Okay, so he should be able to show right way of doing the things to his subordinates. Next is creating confidence. An ideal leader has to create confidence in his followers. a worker may have a capacity to perform, but he may be lacking confidence, he may be hesitating to do the work, he may not have that much enough confidence to take up that work. In such a situation, a leader has to build confidence among the workers, which will help them to achieve their goals, right? So you have to, as a leader, you have to build confidence among your workers. You have to keep on motivating them by saying that yes, you can do it, you have that capacity of doing it. So these positive motivating words definitely builds up their morale. They increases, expands their energy. Okay, and a few positive changes are brought up in their personality because of that, and their mindset undergoes a change. Then next is link between management and workers. Of course, leader is a link between management and workers, because he's the person who knows everything about companies' plans and policies, and it is his responsibility to make people and see to it that companies' plans and policies are successfully achieved. Right, so leader is a person who represent the subordinates' interest before the management. That means he is a person who is in continuous contact with the people working in the organization as well as the management. So in both the uh, parties, you can call top management also and working class also, he is in between them. He equally has contact with both of them because he is acquainted with companies' plans and policies. Being the part of management, he is there to decide the policies and plans, and being the part of or the leader of subordinates, you have to get work done from them, and you have to see to it that those plans and policies are successfully implemented with the help of your subordinates, right? So therefore he is called as a middleman between management and workers. It is his responsibility to maintain good relationship between management and workers, right? Because he is acting as a middleman. Next is last one is building the morale. Now, what is morale? Morale is the attitude of employees towards the organization, and definitely every employee should have a positive attitude towards its organization. Then and then only that subordinate, that whoever's employee or worker can work with full confidence and zeal, and willingly can work, and he will always try to give his best if his morale is positive. A good leader has to work hard and raise the employees morale. He has to create a positive image of the management in the minds of people. High morale leads to high productivity and organizational stability. When your morale of your employees is high, definitely people don't think about leaving your organization. They don't look for a better job in another organization, and this leads to reduction in labor turnover, and it leads to organizational stability. So this is what is required for stable organization, for consistent development of any organization, and this can be achieved if you are having positive morale among your employees. So to build this positive morale is the responsibility of the leader. So these are the functions of leader. So with this we will end with today's lecture. Thank you.